I'd now like to call upon Dean LaGala, a former Pinecrest football captain and Hall of Famer, to say a few words about Greg and read a speech from their coach, Keith Flynn.
Wanted to first start off, thank Evan for everything he's done here, and seeing all the old faces, it's been great to come back here. Want to thank Pinecrest and the administration for putting this all together. Want to thank the Wohrles for raising such a wonderful son. Coach Flynn talked to Evan and I a couple days ago. He couldn't make it here, so he wrote a speech out and he wanted me to read it. So I'm honored to do that, and honored to do it for Greg. Here's his words. It is with great feeling and pride, Panther pride, that I have the opportunity to share with the Pinecrest football family some thoughts and feelings regarding championship traditions, and also to share in this special day as we honor a very special person and former Panther Greg Wohrle. I wish I was present with you here now outside this outstanding facility to speak these words. However, I will be leading a high school football team in a game that kicks off in a few hours in North Carolina. It is an honor for me to have one of my former players and captain, Dean LaGala, a fantastic player himself, but more importantly, an outstanding husband, father, and person who will deliver these words to you. Thanks, Captain LaGala. Football is the greatest of all team sports. It is a team sport of many lessons in courage, persistence, and group unity that apply to life. Commitment, self-discipline, and application of effort are essential qualities. A player who learns how to be fully prepared in this highly competitive sport provides himself a springboard for many future successes, both on and off the athletic fields. Football not only teaches these lifelong lessons to players, but coaches, parents, and fans also benefit from the challenges this great sport offers. I know that I learned many valuable lessons during the playing days at Pinecrest under the direction of the best high school coach in history of football, Coach Bill Muncie, another true champion. I'm also grateful to all the players I had the opportunity to coach at Pinecrest during my 12-year stay as head coach of the Panthers. I remember more than others. However, I have a vivid recollection of number 34, Greg Wohrle. I remember his passion for the game and playing Sam linebacker. I remember his love and respect for his parents, his friends, and his coaches. I remember his warm and beautiful smile, his incredible sense of humor, and the ability to laugh at himself. I do remember calling his house to check him in for curfew, and he was never there. Too much girls and ice cream, that's what Coach said. I remember his genuine caring and concern for others, his fierce competitiveness and tenacity, his ability to overcome pain, his physical and mental strength and toughness. However, the lesson that Greg taught me, and I try so hard every day to follow, is the example to set and how he lived his life, never saying a negative word about anybody. He just refused to do it. Instead, he would remove himself from the conversation or simply not say a word. I truly admired this trait of Greg's. He was a character indeed, but he possessed great character. A true and loyal friend to everyone. Greg made an immediate impact on your life just by being a small part of it. He made you laugh until you couldn't stop. He made the hard times easy. He took the time to listen and understand, and he stood by you regardless of the circumstance. I want to share a story with you that has emerged as one that I've shared with many football teams and the opportunity to coach. Before tonight's game here in North Carolina, I plan to deliver this story or pep talk to my players. This talk centers around one of my all-time favorite football players, number 34, Greg Wohrle, who affectionately nicknamed Hooter, and it's indeed a true story. As we came into the fall of 1989, right about the time most of you players were probably born, we were coming off a previous season with a record of 3 wins and 7 losses, and the year prior to that, Pinecrest just recorded 1 victory. To say the least, expectations were not too high, except for the team itself, who had worked hard the entire summer running and lifting weights. Our first game arrived, and we found ourselves hosting a tough Coral Shores team that was ranked number 9 in the state 2A poll. As the game progressed, we were hanging on tough and actually clinging on to a 3-point lead deep in the fourth quarter. Coral Shores mounted a long drive, and that brought them to our 15-yard line, where they were faced with a 4th down and 2. The coach decided to go to the first down because we had blocked a previous field goal attempt, so he called for his last timeout to talk strategy and set up his play. They had a tremendous tailback that year who single-handedly took them down on their final drive, hopefully resulting in a game-winning touchdown. He was 6'2", probably 200 pounds, and averaged 6 yards per carry. Anyway, his name was Cecil Jones, but his players all called him Bobo. While during the timeout, our defensive coordinator goes out to talk with the defense, and I noticed that 10 guys are listening to Coach Gordon giving directions. However, our Sam linebacker, number 34, was not in the huddle. He was over on the ball closer to the Coral Shores players, and he's yelling over their huddle. "Give the ball to Bobo. Run it right here at me. Give it to Bobo, please. Run it right here at me, at this gap right here." I couldn't have wrung his neck. Excuse me. Not that he was taunting, but really they didn't need to give them any more inspiration than they already had. Well, guess what? They did. They gave the ball to Bobo, and old 34 stuffed him in the backfield for 2 yards. Game over. Panthers upset number 9 Coral Shores in the home opener, 10-7, and our team went to a 7-3 record with district and conference championships that year. That's how Greg was, a fierce competitor who played every play with fire and passion. When it was time to work, he worked hard, harder than most, and when it was time to play, he played harder than anyone, and both he did always smiling. His passion inspired not only his teammates, but the entire coaching staff, especially linebacker position coach, Coach Hugh Gordon. Coach Gordon had a special interest in Greg and even drew up different linebacker blitzes just to suit his abilities. The respect those two had for each other was indeed special and unique. In closing, please let me express my gratitude to Evan for making this day possible for Greg and his family. I want to thank the 1989 football Panther team for laying bricks into a foundation for many championship teams that followed and will continue to follow. And finally, to Greg's parents, Barbara and Gary, for allowing Greg to play football and giving me the opportunity not only to coach him, but to learn from him. To this year's football team, remember, you shall pass through this football program only once. Any sacrifice that you make, any football prowess you can show for the team, do it now. Do not defer or neglect it, for you should only pass through here once. Play like a champion today, and live like a champion every day. Yours in Panther Pride, Coach Keith Flynn, class of '79, former coach of Greg Wohrle, number 34. It was really great to talk to Coach Flynn about this, and it just brought back some great memories and just being here. I had the pleasure to play with Greg and be best friends with him during those wonderful years here at Pinecrest. And anyone he came across, he moved them because he played and lived like a true champion. To the players that are here now, make every day, every practice, every down count for yourself, for your coach, for your team, and for your school. Before you know it, it will all be past. A tradition does not just happen, it has to come from you as an individual player and as a team with the support of your coaches. You have the opportunity here now to evoke a tradition and let Greg's spirit lift you into becoming a champion on and off the field. Thanks a lot.